Let's speak more about the political drama in the Joburg Council. We're joined now by the DA's Gauteng leader, Solly Msimanga. Solly, very good evening to you. Grateful for your time. Welcome to the show for, I don't know, the 18th time on the same issue. Can you still swing the vote for a mayor in your favor in Johannesburg?
Well, thank you very much, Debacle, and good evening to the Newzroom Afrika viewers. Indeed, this is why we have decided that, having a moonshot pact before we even get to elections, whether it's the 2024 elections or even beyond, is going to be very much important. When you are able to then iron out what is it that you want to then achieve before you get to then talking about, positions and jostling for positions, we need to then understand and agree what is happening. And this is precisely why in the city of Johannesburg right now, when, our government actually fell apart, the coalition government fell apart. Action SA were the first to come out and say there's no longer a coalition in the city of Johannesburg. Every party can do as they please. And we have seen a number of times them pulling away from what the other partners were doing in that particular municipality. This has now translated into a situation where now they came back and say, can we put a government together? But they come with, conditions and people that, come along, i.e., the Patriotic Alliance, who then come and say, we want mayorship. If you don't want to give us mayorship, then we hold all the keys and we might not want to then get into the coalition. Again, we're not talking about what is it that we want to achieve. We're talking who gets into what position. And I promise you, once you go into that kind of agreement, arrangement again, 3-4 months down the line, we're back at square one where, we're not talking about how a coalition is holding together, how it's delivering. We're back to talking about, who is jostling for what position and who's trying to negotiate with the other party to form a new coalition. That's not what we want from the Democratic Alliance side.
Is it not time then to call it a day and give up on this cause altogether at this point and maybe wait for an election? I've asked, I think, this question to one of your colleagues before because, as you're saying, we keep moving in the same direction. So someone is elected mayor, they quit or are forced out, and then we're back to the same drama to a point where it's become tiring and frustrating, especially for voters who elected all of you.
Well, I agree that it is very much frustrating, and this is why the leader of the Democratic Alliance has written letters to all the party leaders to then say, can we come around the table and can we agree on what we want to then achieve? And can we agree on what we want to then do to make sure that, a coalition, if we put a coalition together, will stand up to the end of, the term. Because, residents cannot have the on and off, having an MMC and today not having an MMC the other day, having a mayor and not having a mayor on the other day. That's not good, showing for democracy in South Africa. And this is why we have said instead of jumping again into, a jostling for positions, let us get around the table and then engage in terms of how we will be able to deliver, but more importantly, how we will be able to ensure that we stay the course.
The standing accusation, though, from your coalition partners, past and present, is that the DA wants to have things its way. You basically, they say, want to have your cake and eat it. Why are you not flexible? Why aren't you willing, for example, to offer a sweetener to the PA? Because you want to have a DA mayor in Johannesburg, but ultimately, when you do the maths, you need them and Action SA. So you're going to have to give something to appease them.
Well, can I tell you that we invited the PA into a meeting where we had a meeting with the other ex-partners in the city of Johannesburg to then say, what is it that we wanted to hear from them? Gauteng McKenzie was very, very clear. They're not interested in our principles. They're not interested in our values. All they care about is power, and all they care about is, resources that come with the power that they will be able to then get there, into. And then we said to them, but what happens, a couple of months down the line when the ANC offers you, a better position? His own words, not mine. His own words were, I'm not angry with the ANC. If the ANC comes tomorrow with a counter proposal, I will then consider it and I might go with it. So that tells you that, this is not really somebody who is in or want to be in it for the long haul, but is in there to then ensure that, whenever there will be a position, then they will grab that position. And if somebody counts at that position, then they will want to go into that. We further then said, can you then guarantee us that you will stay, the term? And the only way that you'll be able to then guarantee that is if you then cut ties on the other end and make sure that, wherever you are in support of the ANC and or the EFF in whatever municipality, then that will be a sign that, you're serious about cutting ties and ensuring that where we are in government together, you will then stay the course. They were not willing to do that. And this is why we are saying we're very nervous. We are not arrogant. We are not, dictating to anybody, but we are saying we are nervous about forming a government with people that clearly from day one are stating that, if a better offer comes their way, they're going to take it.
It sounds as though there's no way in which the DA can form a coalition that would run Johannesburg with the involvement of the PA, or at least not in a sustainable or harmony or harmonious arrangement, so to speak. So, back to my earlier question, is it not time then to call it quits? And B, can you even make this happen without their endorsement? Are there any other parties that you could perhaps be able to take from the side of the ANC and bring them to your aisle?
Well, we have been, like I said to you earlier on, we've written to quite a number of organizations to then say, are they able to then come around the table? But also to then say, can we agree on what is it that we are going to do? Not initially about who gets into into what position, but we agree in terms of what we want to then achieve. The first thing. The second thing is whether we will be able to then put a coalition that will be able to then last to the end of the term in 2026. Now, those parties are still going to meet, and I know that the leader had a meeting earlier on today. I haven't had the results from that particular meeting, but we are serious about ensuring that if we are going to go into this coalition, or however shape that it takes, it's going to last. We are tired of it as well. Our brain is taking a knock every time there's this instability. And you will know when things are going well, then it's the multi-party coalition that gets praised. But when things go wrong, it's the GA-led coalition that needs to then take the blame in that particular instance. And we are saying that if we are going to be taking the blame, then we might as well make sure that we are able to then put in coalitions, or at least the principles behind the coalition that will stand the test of time going forward. It cannot be that we're just wanting to jump because now there is an opportunity. But I think lastly, Tembekile, it's very much interesting that there's no question that is being asked about the manner in which the council meeting was, delayed yesterday over and over again, and over and above that, then the speaker unilaterally decided then to adjourn the meeting without following any kind of process, whether to find out that, the meeting is still correcting or the meeting is actually in any way out of order that it could not proceed. That tells you that, the residents are not being put forward as priority here, but they are again taking a back seat while, parties are promising each other the moon and the stars, while the residents are waiting for services to be rendered to them. And this is not what we want to be part of, or actually, wanting to then continue with in the city of Johannesburg.
Solly Msimanga, Gauteng, dear leader, thank you.